Morning, God's house. It's Pastor Allen again. And as you can tell, I've taken a page out of John's book and beautified my Devo by asking my lovely, beautiful wife to be with me here today. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi, it's nice to be here this morning.
Now, I would tell you that Lisa's like me. This isn't something either one of us are super comfortable at, but I give her great credit for going out of her comfort zone on it. Thank you.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.
So today we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about love. Jesus talked a lot to his disciples about love. In John 15:12, he said, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you."
I love you.
I love you too.
You know, it's fascinating to me, though, because hopefully when you say you love me, as I'm saying I love you, I, I'm not just using an empty word, right?
Mhm.
That when I say that I love you, that there's action and demonstration of that love behind it. Would you agree?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely would agree. And I hope that my love for you shows the same thing.
Oh, it does, but I think oftentimes that's where people kind of get messed up a little bit. Even people that say they love God, but you would never know it by their actions because their
Mhm.
actions don't demonstrate anything, towards actually living the way God's called them to live. And people as well in relationships all the time are saying, "Oh, I love you, brother," or something like that. But being real, that's a super empty word for me. Um, I grew up in a family where love wasn't expressed. And so when I first heard somebody that was outside of my family, of course, tell me they love me, I stopped and I said, "Tell me what you mean by that." Okay. Because I didn't want to hear any empty words. It was so crucial for me. I remember the very first time I told somebody that I loved them, it was the same idea. I wanted them to know how crucial and big of a statement I was
Mhm.
making to them. What I love too in this passage is Jesus went on to say, "Greater love has no one than this, that someone laid down his life for his friends." Now, this is in the discourse shortly before Jesus is arrested and ultimately crucified. And he's the demonstration, right,
Mhm.
of someone who gave his life for his friends, which includes us, right? And so it's a great look at that. But how else would we describe practically what it looks like to love somebody? Is anything in scripture, point us to that?
1 Corinthians.
Great
1
chapter.
Corinthians 13.
Yeah.
It
We've seen that a lot together, haven't we?
Yes.
As Lisa knows, we used to do weddings together, and 1 Corinthians 13 are some vows that God led me to
Mhm.
years ago. But it's a great, powerful passage.
So 1 Corinthians says, love is patient, love is kind.
Yeah. You say I'm patient
Most of the time.
most of the time, but it's an action, right? It's something that requires uh, doing something. Being kind
Hmm.
is an action. It requires, doing something. It goes on in the passage and says, "Love doesn't envy or boast. It's not arrogant or rude." Um, I think men in particular, and feel free to speak plainly, I think sometimes we can be more arrogant and we can be more rude. Not that women can't be, though, right?
No, I think unfortunately women are becoming that
More so.
more so.
But again, the idea here is that we don't do those things, that we don't envy, we're not
Hmm.
arrogant. And then what's the next set of verses there?
It does not insist on its own way.
Insist.
Insist.
I know she kind of struggled in saying that. That's a struggle that we all have, right? I mean, we struggle with, my way's the right way, and you need to come to terms with doing it the right way. But there is a selflessness that we see in that statement.
Hmm.
It's not irritable or resentful. And I know one of the things that I can be is I can be irritable, just where got that burr under my saddle, as they say, right? And it's just something really eating at me. And
I can be the same way sometimes.
yeah, but if I'm genuinely going to say, "Hey, I love you," then biblically, what that looks like is I'm going to seek not to be
Hmm.
irritable. The next verse says, "It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth." And you and I know that's a big aspect of our
Hmm.
relationship. I don't want you to lie to me, and you don't want me to lie to you, of course, right?
Yeah.
And gosh, if we can't trust each other to be true, what if we couldn't trust God, to be true with us? Fake out. You
Yeah.
really aren't going to spend eternity with me. You're going to hell, right? Well, that would not be good. That would be uncomfortable, obviously, right? What's our next
The
verse?
next verse says, love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things.
Well, it's certainly a mouthful, but it speaks again to that endurance that we just continue to uh, work it out, no matter what the circumstance. And sometimes that's
Mm-hmm.
easier said than done. But I think, especially in our world today, people are so quick to give up on each other. And I've certainly been guilty of that before in my life. And it's certainly not something God would have us do. But I love the end of this. It says, love never ends. As for prophecies, which even Paul right before this says, of all things that you should desire to prophesy. But he's
Mm-hmm.
saying, that's going to pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. But the thing that's everlasting is
Is
love.
love.
And so we hope and pray today that you walk in his love.
Yes.